Most candle spells fail because people think they're lighting a wish, but what you're actually doing is building a slow burn battery that runs on your attention, and if you don't know how to feed it, it dies before the wax does. Intention isn't a feeling. It's not hoping really hard while you flick a lighter. It's a specific instruction you embed into the wax itself through repetition and focus during the dressing. You carve it. You oil it. You speak it into the wick. Every part of your hands is another layer of code. The candle doesn't care what you want, it cares what you feed it, which is why vague hopes produce vague results. You can't just think, I want money, and expect the universe to decode your financial anxiety into a coherent spell. The wax needs specificity. It needs an image it can hold. And here's the part nobody talks about. Most people set their intention once and walk away. They light it, say a prayer, and assume the work is done. But the spell actually builds every time you return to it. Every time you check the flame. Every time you adjust your focus and feed it another thread of attention. The real trick? Your intention has to be concrete enough that the candle becomes a mirror. When you look at it burning, you should see the outcome already happening, not as fantasy, but as inevitability. That's when you know it's working. Here's what nobody tells you about color magic. It's not symbolic. It's not about what red makes you feel or what your grandmother's which book said green means. Different colored candles burn at different rates and different temperatures. That's physics. And centuries ago, practitioners noticed this and built a correspondence system on top of it, not from aesthetic preference, but from watching how pigment and wax interact with flame. Red candles for passion and intensity? That works because red candles literally hold heat longer. The pigment affects the density of the wax. They burn hotter, slower, more sustained. You're not just thinking about passion, you're building a slow burn into the structure of the spell itself. The magic is in how the material responds. Black candles don't attract negativity. They absorb it. Black pulls light in, neutralizes it, stops it cold. That's why banishing work uses black, not because it looks witchy or because someone decided it was spooky, but because it draws energy inward and kills momentum. It's a heat sink. It takes something active and makes it inert. If your candle color doesn't match your timing, your desired burn speed, the intensity you actually need, you're building the spell in the wrong key. You can have perfect intention and absolute focus, but if the physics are working against the energy you're trying to create, you're just burning wax and hoping. Here's what they don't tell you. The oil and herbs aren't decoration. They're the syntax of the spell. They're the language the flame reads as it moves down the wax, translating your intention into actual force. You're not making it pretty, you're coding the working. Direction matters, and it matters more than most people realize. When you anoint base to wick, you're drawing energy toward you. Wick to base pushes it away. This isn't folklore or superstition passed down because it sounds mystical. It's directional energy. You are literally programming the path the magic takes. And the herbs? They have to actually touch the wax to work. If you're sprinkling them around the base of the candle like garnish on a plate, you're dressing the holder, not the spell. The flame never reaches them. They burn on the surface below while the magic passes right over them, untouched. Press them into the oil. Let them stick to the body of the candle. That's where they get red. But here's the part that changes everything. The moment of dressing is when you're most in contact with the spell's core. This is when you whisper the specifics. When you carve sigils into the wax. when the magic actually gets locked in. The lighting is just the ignition. The dressing is where you write the spell itself. Most people rush this part, or skip it entirely, and then wonder why the candle just sat there and burned. Here's what nobody tells you about reading candle flames. You're not looking for omens. You're running diagnostics. A tall, steady flame means your intention is clear and the spell is running clean. The energy is flowing exactly where you aimed it. But if the flame is low and flickering, there's interference. Something internal or external is choking the work, and you need to figure out what. Maybe you're holding doubt in your chest. Maybe someone in the house is pulling against your intention without even knowing it. Either way, the flame is giving you real-time feedback, not prophecy. When the flame dances wildly, there's active resistance. You might be second-guessing yourself mid-spell, or the environment is pushing back harder than you anticipated. That's your cue to stop and reground. Place your hand near the candle, breathe with it, and pull your focus back into the center of the flame. Smoke direction tells you where the energy is actually moving. Smoke drifting toward you means it's still building, circling back to gather strength. Smoke moving away means it's already working outward into the world. And wax pooling unevenly on one side? That's not random. It's showing you exactly where the energy is stuck or spilling over. You can rotate the candle to redistribute the flow, or redress that side with oil to smooth the path. You're not a passive observer. You're the practitioner, and the candle is talking. Here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. Candle magic operates inside planetary hours and moon phases for a reason. Burning a love candle during a waning moon is like planting seeds in winter. You're not doing something wrong. You're working against the entire current instead of riding it. And yeah, you can force it. But why would you? Planetary hours aren't occult trivia someone made up to sound mystical. They are energetic windows when certain workings actually have traction. Venus hour for love and beauty. Mars hour for protection and cutting ties. It's not symbolic, it's structural. You wouldn't schedule a job interview at 3 a.m. and wonder why it went badly. Same principle. The day you start matters more than the day you finish. Thursday for expansion, success, anything you want to grow. Saturday for banishing, binding, ending what needs to end. Friday for love and art and pleasure. You're not just picking vibes, you're choosing which planetary force backs your work. And look, if you can't do the timing perfectly, don't spiral. Do it on the new moon or the full moon and let the lunar pull do half the work for you. New moon when you're calling something in. Full moon when you're releasing or charging something already in motion. The moon is the loudest timer we have. Use it. Here's what nobody tells you about candle magic. The candle works because it forces you to come back. To check in. To keep your attention locked on the outcome. Magic isn't a one-time wish you whisper into the void. It's sustained focus, and the candle gives you a reason to maintain it. You light it every night. You watch the flame. You feel the heat. You're feeding something, and that something is you. When the flame finally goes out, the spell doesn't end. What you've built inside yourself, that clarity, that certainty, that version of you who already has the thing, it continues. The candle just made it visible. It gave you a container for becoming. Most failed candle spells don't fail because the method was wrong. They fail because the person's attention wandered. The wax burns whether you're watching or not, but the magic only builds when you are. When you're present. When you're feeding it with your focus. This is why candle magic is beginner-friendly but devastatingly effective when done right. It's not about the herbs or the color or the phase of the moon. It's a practice in becoming inevitable. In training yourself to hold an intention until it has no choice but to manifest. So next time you strike that match, remember, you're not asking for something to happen. You're becoming the thing that makes it inevitable, one flicker at a time. Follow Blackfire Atelier. I'll see you in the shadows.